Hi everyone, and welcome to the SwiftCase Productivity Podcast. My name is Adam Sykes, the founder of SwiftCase, the professional productivity platform, and today I've got with me
Craig McCarthy, development manager at SwiftCase,
and
Phil Whitby, developer at SwiftCase.
Okay, great. So today we're going to talk about, firstly, I suppose, Google and their influence over how well your website performs, or how your business sort of gets portrayed, I suppose, across the internet. I don't know whether you want to kick off.
What was I reading about? Well, when you look at Google's guidelines for how to lay out your website and the content, they're quite strict about what they'll ignore and what they'll tolerate. And it seems to me that, in a way, they've taken on the mantle of policing and managing websites on the internet. It's not just about their chief goal was to index websites, but it's got to the point now where they are the kind of overseer of how the content should be.
Well, you go through them for everything, don't you?
You do, yeah, exactly.
Like, who really types in, like, oh, well, other than
like Google Chrome, you just type in the address bar and it does do so.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's
a Google
exactly.
search, isn't it?
Yeah. You do go through them for everything, absolutely everything.
Unless you're one of those small proportion of people that stick with the browser that comes with your computer, I suppose. Like you end up with Internet Explorer or
even
Safari.
Then,
they probably print out websites they go
yeah,
to.
they do. Yeah,
absolutely. But now, so of course they can enforce anything that they want, really, for their own gain.
Yeah, and it's under this auspices of being good for the internet, but actually it's just good for them. I think that's the it may be, but it's just sort of directing it down that road where you really have less of a say about how you construct it. And we've seen how they kind of like are managing our data anyway, and analysing our data that we use. I just think it's a bit nefarious. I'd love to know your thoughts.
Yeah, so I mean, I suppose everyone knows, like, the way that sites appear on Google, people don't bother looking if you pass like
That's
sort of
right,
the
yeah.
first page. I mean, even if you pass the first one to five results, you're probably not going to get visited. So conforming to Google's standards is basically it's a necessity,
It's do
isn't
or
it?
die, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, and also they change quite regularly, so you need to have a team of people, or certainly be keeping track of what the actual requirements they've got on your business, on your website, you know, what they are, because, you know, if the algorithm changes, you might be number one one day, and then you might be off the first page the next day.
It's like the old blast from the past, the Google bombing, wasn't it? Where you literally put all the keywords in, and then kind of hide them from the view, just to try and boost your SEO, and then obviously that got binned off by Google, and then suddenly websites that were at the top just went.
Well, that's it. It's an arms race, isn't it? So basically, that's the key thing. It's like, because it's an arms race, it doesn't take very many generations before it becomes impenetrable to anyone that's new to it.
Yeah,
I think that's.
But I suppose the counter to that, though, is there's a set of rules, and anyone can make a website that complies with those rules. I mean, to be fair to Google, I think as far as their like what they expect from websites for ranking, they do seem to have the sort of the user in mind rather than the website builder. So speed's important, length of content, you know, quality of content, rather than just who can get the most. It used to be, it was like keywords, wasn't it? Originally it was just keywords. As long as you had keywords in, it's as simple as writing a load of things at the bottom, as Craig just said, and then putting in black text on a black background or white text on a white background.
I can see it in my head, you know, it's mad.
Then it went to like backlinks, didn't it? So how many websites connected to your website? So then some like people came along and went,
domains.
well, let's make a million websites that all point to our website. So then Google went, no. The websites that point to your websites have also got to be high quality. So you got kind of page ranks coming in, like the way that you shared backlinks, it mattered. The quality of the page that shared the backlink. And now it's got more sophisticated, that it can actually tell what you've written on your website. It has got some kind of value to it. So the people who are banging out a 100-page blog post that's a load of rubbish just to get keywords into the site is now not rated as high as someone who's written a 2,000 word detailed essay on something, or 6,000 word detailed article about a specific issue. So they can do, so that is going towards actually providing better content, I suppose. So to defend Google in that way, I think the reasoning behind it does seem to be for the benefit of the user.
I suppose it gets to the point where what do they decide is good? They can make internal decisions about with a hidden algorithm about what is good. You know, they may get puritanical and sort of go, well, actually, if there's too many mentions of sex or anything like that, maybe we don't want it ranked up there because we don't want to get the blame when children. There's all these kinds of aspects, and which in the end doesn't help the user. And when you're talking about the optimization that used to happen, probably because of their limited indexing capability, and as it gets ridiculous, like orders of magnitude faster, like the extent to which they can actually analyze and interpret the value of a page just gets beyond comprehension. You know what I mean? Because well,
what do you do with all the data in the world?
Well, the thing is, they just don't even look at it, do they? They just kind of wait for feedback. Like YouTube, they just wait for feedback from consumers. And then just make excuses. Like when demonetized YouTube videos happen, they don't know how it's happening. You know what I mean? They train something to do it, and they're like, oh, okay. And then people kind of work out why their videos getting demonetized because maybe there was like a background image of like Hitler or something in there somewhere, or in a historical video that was for educational purposes, but it's closed down because of right-wing propaganda. You know what I mean? So it's these kinds of areas that they themselves don't actually know. Because nobody's saying, right, we need to do this for this particular thing.
They can't physically look at each individual website in the world, can they?
So we're all just
going to be an algorithm
testing for them. And then when they get the feedback, they kind of either deal with it or don't. So what was also interesting is that people could potentially go in weird directions with it. So if you remember the bot that Microsoft released, that 4chan got to be racist and things like that. There's ways that we don't know the direction it's going to be gamed in. People that
I think it's always going to happen, though, isn't it? Really, it's like anything. It's like crime. Really, you
don't know what the next real crime is.
You implement a solution, and ultimately, the people that want to break that, there's always going to be those problems. I think
so. It's always an ongoing battle to keep up. So it does need to keep having new iterations. But you are right. Once they start understanding the value of the page, it's like what is considered more valuable.
Exactly. And it may be coincidence, like saying there's a perfectly educational video about the Second World War that is demonetized or banned because of references to Hitler in it, isn't it? Because that's a current. Maybe there's a cloud of keywords that that's associated with it. It's like, oh, let's ban it, and there's no recourse for that individual because there aren't enough employees at YouTube to deal with all the problems that I think what it probably comes down to is that we've never before had this scope to communicate and manage this many files and videos or text or anything for everyone to see it and for millions of people to possibly, you know what I mean? Like,
how does a team manage billions of people?
Yeah, it's like, and like, how many employees has Facebook got? Is it 1,000? Is it a couple of hundred?
That'll be more.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's thousands.
It's thousands, but when we're talking, they had to get people to look for, videos that were poor text. And you're like,
that's got to be the worst. That must be the worst job in the world. Unless you're a very particular
and you know that like if it's flagged, it's going to be bad. Do you know what I mean? It's not like I had a good day today. There wasn't too much bad.
It's almost like the police who have to watch videos that have been reported as criminal. It could be a very stressful job.
So I just don't know if humans can do it.
But that, I suppose that's when you rely on community, isn't it? Really. That's where you got stuff like reviewing and
reporting things, but then it's too late. Because it's already got out and it could have been copied and distributed.
It depends on which platform you're using, really, but it doesn't necessarily mean just because one person's reported it who finds it offensive, it's going to be taken down. It takes multiple, I think, before like an automatic thing kicks in. It all depends on which network you're using, really. But let's just say. It's already.
You can see how already games then, can't you?
Yeah, because you can report stuff. That's, one of the things that happened recently is we're about to go through general election here, and one of the things that people have been putting together is tactical voting because we got first past the post. People like to look for they want to game the system to make it more proportional. So there's you have tactical voting sites, and one of the sites already, if you go and you put it on Twitter, it warns you that this site might be. Like a dodgy site. when it's a well-known organisation that's completely legitimate,
Yeah.
but people who don't want you to go and do tactical voting with this site, all they've had to do is report it lots.
Well, it's a bit like
and then now every
exactly.
time you go on and people who aren't too sure,
we'll go,
oh, I don't know about that process. Like, it's not, isn't legitimate, but it's been done. Until it gets rectified, that's obviously having an impact on the people who've gained the system. So it's interesting and
that could go
one to watch. So if you've got any comments about the way that Google or other companies has control over and manipulating what you visit and what you see on the internet, then please drop them below.
And subscribe by clicking the little bell icon below to see more.
And probably the first thing I'd type into Google today is swiftcase.co.uk. Probably one of the better websites out there. There's no dodgy keywords going on like that. And you can find out some of the great things that we're doing at the moment. Also, don't forget to follow us at SwiftCase UK on all of these different social networks.
Don't report us. And thank you for listening to the SwiftCase Productivity Podcast. We'll see you again next time.